Hi, and welcome to training. So today what we're going to be talking about is open enrollment basics. Now, if you like the video, got something out of it, please like, comment, subscribe. Does help it get it out to more people. Now, the main reason that we want to talk about this is because you really do need to be prepared when open enrollment comes around. There's a lot of certifications and things that you'll want to make sure are taken care of prior to that. So the first thing, first and foremost, is you'll want to make sure that you do have all the certifications you need through cms.gov, the FFM certifications. That's going to be the very first thing that you need to get taken care of as soon as you get licensed and you start going through the appointing process. Because without that, you can't sell any of the ACA products. Now, once that's done, you want to make sure that you have all of the other carriers in the different states that you want to sell in, that you are appointed with them. So the easiest way to do this is to go into Health Sherpa, and you want to make sure that you have that taken care of too. And there is a step-by-step guide that I will include, or a checklist that I will include in the description, so that you can make sure that you're hitting all of these points. But you're also going to want to make sure that your Health Sherpa is set up and ready to go, that your Medicare Pro is set up and ready to go, and that you're going into each state and just run a quick quote in that state with one of the zip codes there, to make sure that you have all of the carriers that you plan on offering in those states, and that you have started the appointing process for all of those things. Now, once you've done that and you've got kind of a good base or a good number of carriers that you're going to be using, the next thing that you're going to want to do is kind of plan out what your strategy is going to be during open enrollment. Like, are you going to do a lot of videos during that time and do it kind of organically through putting out content? Are you going to drum up a business by getting referrals? Are you going to buy leads? Are you going to go to businesses and things like that? You want to get that plan set up before and actually start on those things about a month or two before open enrollment starts, if you're going to have a successful open enrollment period. Now, what you can expect during open enrollment is going to be largely based on what you're doing as far as marketing goes. So if you're buying a lot of leads and you're calling, you're going to have a pretty busy and pretty successful open enrollment. But you don't want it just to stay there. You want to get those referrals and put together a system, and we'll do a full video on how to get referrals and the different strategies that work. But you want to build your referral system on that, because eventually what's going to happen is you will have so many members that you'll be servicing and doing renewals for them rather than getting new members, new enrollments. And so the way that it works as far as enrolling folks goes is, and this is just so that everybody knows exactly how it works, is when we get paid on those applications, it's not on an per application basis. This is important. It's on a per member basis. So if you have one person on the application, it counts as one. If you have one application and there's up to five members on it, then it'll count as five members. So you keep that in mind, and you want to have a tracker that you use, and I'll include a link to that as well, so that you can keep track of how many enrollments you have going into it. Now, one thing that you really will want to be good at is moving through enrollments quickly and moving through applications quickly. And so what you want to do is make sure that you're getting a lot of reps in during the year or leading up to open enrollment, so that you can get really familiar with how Health Sherpa works, how Medicare Pro works, and how to navigate those systems, and also get your flow down as well. You'll also want to get your flow down, so that when you're talking to clients, you're not stumbling over your words or over explaining things, so that you can move from client to client quickly. Now, the other thing that you'll want to really get a handle on is your client control. And what I mean by that is, you can't have one client taking up a huge amount of your time, because if that happens, then you miss the opportunity to enroll others. Now, the way that I manage this is through text message typically. So what happens is, the client calls me, I'll reply with a text saying, hey, I'm working with someone right now. If you let me know what this is, I can look it up for you and give you a call back. 9 times out of 10, they just need to call the carrier to get cards sent out, or they just have, something small, an address change or something like that. It doesn't really require your time. And so rather than you going and calling and handling all that, they can just call themselves. Or I'll say, okay, you can give them a call, or I can give you a call back in an hour if that's okay. And we'll schedule a time to talk, rather than them just having direct access. The key, though, is that they need to know that you're actually responsive, and that you are taking their matters seriously. So don't blow them off. Don't be scared to answer your phone. Always reply to them, but you don't necessarily need to pick up right then and there, where they have that kind of unfettered access to you, especially if you're trying to grow a huge book of business. Those are the main things to look out for during open enrollment. Now, once you get really good, especially during open enrollment, and you're able to run through those applications really quickly, the next thing that you'll want to do moving out of open enrollment is think about what you can do to continue to grow your book of business outside of that, because what you really want to do is not only have business coming in regularly during open enrollment, but also have a system set up so that you're continually receiving new clients outside of open enrollment. And some of the best ways to do that is by putting out content, which we'll get into, also by getting referrals from your current clients, another thing we'll get into. And sometimes it'll be approaching businesses or building partnerships with other businesses as well, like CPA, tax preparers, things like that, real estate agents. There's a whole host of industry that you can get in touch with. Well, there's a whole group of, well, no, I'll put it this way. There are many different industries that work really well with ours, especially small businesses and tax preparers and things like that, where it'll benefit them to have someone that they can send their clients to where they know they'll be well taken care of. So you'll want to get all that put in place as well. And you can work on that while you're going through open enrollment, because the last thing that you want is for open enrollment to end and then everything come to a dead halt. But you can expect to be extremely busy during open enrollment, working 5 to 7 days a week. Sometimes, especially towards the end of open enrollment, it'll be really busy. What I saw this past open enrollment, and this is 2025 at the time of this video, so the 2024 and the 2025 year, was that the very beginning of open enrollment was really busy. Then it slowed down. Then as it got closer to December 1st, it picked up. Then it slowed down. Then it picked up again around December 15th. It slowed down. And then going into the new year, it sped up a little bit. And then after that, it was kind of trickling through the rest of the year. So that's kind of what to expect. If you have vacations and things that you want to do, this probably isn't the best time to do that. See if you can put those off for another time, because this is going to be the bulk of your business for the season until you get that kind of system rolling where you have constant clients throughout the year. So I hope this was a great help for you. If you do have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment or send a message. Hope you have a great rest of your day.